Hey, what's up, everybody? This is your boy AJ Trip, and welcome to That's a Shoot, my weekly show where I talk about the good and bad and the world of professional wrestling. And then have our main topic. And this week, we're back to normal, somewhat. Put Over and Bury starts right now. And first, we start with Put Over and Bury, and I first want to put over Seth Rollins and the Monday Night Messiah. It is still going strong. It is still fascinating. They have now added Austin Theory to the mix. I feel like this is going in a great place for Seth Rollins. And it is a shame because right now I think you have two great characters in Drew McIntyre and Seth Rollins. And I would really actually like to see Seth Rollins actually he kind of needs the title right now. And you know, and for his Monday Night Messiah gimmick to be working. So I would, but Drew McIntyre is right now on such a good roll. He's being booked very strong, and he's really one of the best that, company has right now. So it's such a weird thing that you want to do, but I do kind of think I do feel, just in my opinion, that they need to put the title on Seth to really truly make. They need to, and they need to have Drew continue to try to come back for it, and and maybe what to do is maybe every couple months Drew gets up to try to fight for it again. So I really do think that maybe at Extreme Rules we should have a match between Drew and Seth. Seth will win, and then have Drew try to chase Seth the rest of the year. Maybe he'll get it later on down the line again. But it's Seth right now is the best thing going on Monday Night Raw. Also, whatever the whatever you can do stuff that the Profits and the Viking Raiders have been doing has just been incredible as well. From the basketball, the axe throwing. This past week was golf. Now this coming week is gonna be bowling. This is really good. I think this is a great way to also. It's a face on face thing. So I really do think that this is really just like a good thing, because I think what this could lead to in the future is a Street Profits heel turn. I think the Viking Raiders, because they're setting up this like friendly competition and friendly rivalry, or whatever you can do, I can do better. So I think what this will lead to, this will lead to a title match between the Raiders and the Profits, and I think the Viking Raiders will win, having the Profits turn heel on them. So I think that's where it's gonna go down. So I'm down for that. So, and I think what this is, that has been really really fun, and has been a great way to continue their their feud without contact. Excuse me, continue their feud without contact. Next, I want to put over in the Fight Pit. The Fight Pit from NXT was great. I loved the way it was set up. I loved the way that it was done. Back in the day, they had something called the Lions Den, and then the Lions Den was a match where they set up a kind of like a mini cage type thing, and they had I think they had only two of them. I think they had Shamrock and Owen Hart was the first one, and then I think they had um, Shamrock and Steve Blackman maybe in the other one. So, but it was, but I really liked this one, and I think one of the things I really like this one, I really just like the way it was done, because the way it was set up, it was almost like half cage match, half platform match, and there was no ring, ropes, no posts and things like that. So I really do like the way it's done, and I really do want them to. I want them to keep that. I want them to find a way though to maybe kind of expand on being able to expand on that without having to to do that without having to so once, like for instance, once crowds will be able to come back, and once they be able to do that, to have that kind of type of match. Because I think one of the things I think the the cage match as it is, I kind of think it is passe. They're just the regular cage match, at least, especially in WWE, in the way they do it. If they do this stuff where it's a pinfall submission, and then you have to also you can also escape the cage over the top or through the door. And I don't think that's the way it should be. I think now cage matches now it should really be like this. Yeah, just take down the poles and the ring, take down the ropes and everything like that, and then drop down that thing right onto the under the cage, side by side onto the ring, side by side, had it covered up, and then let them fight in that. And you can get rid of the platform. I don't think there's really any need for the platform really. And I also like the way it was done. It was pinfall. It was either a submission or knockout. That's the only way that you could have won. Was submission or knockout. So love the way it was done. I also love the fact the way Timothy Thatcher, who was staying in NXT, went over, beat Matt Riddle, and Matt Riddle's not going to SmackDown. So yeah, I was done. I loved it. I loved it. A lot of things to put over this week. One is Britt Baker. Also, a couple weeks ago on Dynamite, she had an injury to her leg, and I think that was unfortunate. She'll be out. Apparently, she's gonna be out until All Out when All Out happens later on this summer. Um, that's when she'll be able to make her return. Probably be against Chris Statlander, but yeah, it's and all her stuff recently has been very funny, and she's done a really good job of breeding into her heel character and everything like that. So I love that. And just to be me, I also want to put over Christy James. She had a match against the new AEW Women's Champion, Sheeta, not Kushida, because Kushida is in NXT and is a man. But Sheeta, Kuru Sheeta, I guess that's her name. So just check out Christy James, and you can thank me later. And now to Barry, and this is one of the things I was worrying about, doing this, the reason why I wanted to change the way I did it because I just didn't feel right, you know, really burying things and so I don't know if that played into it or if just the fact that there really wasn't anything, you know, so bad that you had to bury it on, this week. But I do feel that SmackDown's opening segment, was kind of, I don't want to say tone deaf because I still think they recorded it earlier this week and not knowing that the world was gonna go shitballs crazy, you know, and they were gonna destroy people and destroy places and destroy things. Um, but the SmackDown opening segment with the kind of the Jeff, focusing on Jeff Hardy's issues with DUIs and everything like that, and all of this other thing, and I kind of think, I kind of think it just wasn't the right tenor for what was going on, in the world right now. So, but you can forgive it. It's not such a big thing where it's something where you just I'm not gonna cancel them over it or anything like that. I just thought it probably it's almost like AEW leaving in the Matt Hardy drowning spot um, over the weekend at the Double or Nothing, leaving that in obviously after the stuff happened with Shad Gaspard. So again, it's this, it's maybe not on brand or anything like that, or not on par. Something that they probably could have done without, but it's nothing that you don't, nothing that, again, like I said, you don't cancel them over. So, but yeah, that's the only thing I got to bury this week. And now for the main topic of my episode, which is we're going into part two of what were the best versions of certain characters. So, last week I did my episodes and I did things like, you know, the best version of The Rock, the best version of Triple H, Undertaker, a few others. So now we're gonna do the best versions of some other characters, part two. In this one, first we start off with Nature Boy Ric Flair, and to be very honest with you, I already saw Ric Flair in his later years. That's when I really saw Ric Flair from '96 on. That's when I saw Ric Flair, and things like that. But I'm going to the '89 version of Ric Flair. We had all those great matches with Steamboat. We had the matches with Terry Funk, and that's what many people seem to think when Ric Flair was really at his best. He had all those great matches at that time. So, um, yeah, I'm going to choose the '89 Ric Flair for his best version of his character. The best version of Big Show. Well, we're going to go back to WCW for that one. I think the best version of the Big Show was when he was the Giant in WCW. I think at that time his best fit. He was his best. Everything was his best. He's the most athletic. And the best at, being what he exactly was supposed to be. That was a giant. And I think once he came over to WWF, and I know there were some things about him. Um, there were some things about him being. There were some things about him being. That attitude problems and things like that, and the weight problems and everything that ran the gamut of his issues, and then the on and off starts, the heel turns, the face turns, and things like that. And that goes into it, but I really mainly think that his character in WWE, because he knew what he was. He was supposed to be a giant, and that's what he was. And I watched the thing the other day with him. He was on Steve Austin Broken Skull sessions, and I watched that. Um, I know I'm talking about that. He was one thing that he would, because he was young, he would just listen to the people and he would say, hey, this and that, Somebody told him to do something, he would do it because he's green, he was a rookie, and he really wanted to seem disrespectful. Even when he came to WWF, he did that, So, but I do think that the Big Show, the Giant, who was in WCW, that's the best. That's the best version of Paul White. Randy Orton, and I think Randy Orton's best version was him when he was the leader of Legacy. He was maniacal at his best. He was just, evil Orton is maybe the best Orton, really, because he's just incredible. Some of the stuff he does, and when he was punting people in the head, left and right, oh, it was incredible. And what he did to Stephanie in front of Triple H and everything, I just think, again, when he was part of Legacy, when he was the head of Legacy, that is when he was his best, without question. I know some people are going to say, but the Legend Killers would made him the best. Some people are going to say maybe it was even later when he jumped to Legacy and he had the babyface turn. Some people even say maybe when he was, when he was the Authorities champion or something like that. So, but I think Legacy is when Randy Orton was truly at his best. The best version of Trish Stratus, I think, was when she turned heel on Chris Jericho. She hadn't been a heel before, and it was kind of thing. No, that's the wrong. she had been healed when she was what's her face when she was the head of TNA, and so I kind of think that, or the manager of TNA. So I think she had been healed, but once she turned babyface, she really had been a babyface herself, and then that's when she also started getting better in the ring and started becoming a better wrestler and you know and everything. And she became really fantastic and everything. So I kind of think that's what they needed. So I enjoyed that um that part of it. But when she turned here, I thought that she did get an edge to her. And she did more of an edge to her, and I think I really did think it made her character become even better. And so then when she turned back, when she turned babyface again, and that was the last run before she ended up retiring. Um, I think it was a great shout to her. So I think that's why, for me, that's why Evil Trish is the best. His status. Dustin Rhodes, aka Goldust. What was his best iteration? Now I hadn't thought it was either going to be between the Goldust iteration that happened with Booker T, or it was going to be the like kind of very first iteration of Goldust, and I went with that very first one because I think that was the one that was the original was the best one, and that was the one where he was using the mind games of you know he's using his mind games to throw his opponents off, and he's using the mind games to do certain things with people, um, and 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 everything like that, and the stuff that he went through, and everything like that, and then like with Marlena, and when he brought in Marlena, that one was the best one. His wife at that time, Terry Rock, and when he brought them in, everything I thought was fantastic with it. So, um, even though I have a mad respect and love for that iteration with him and Booker T and him doing all the comedy stuff with Booker and everything like that. As good as that was, I kind of think I want to go back to that original iteration, particularly the one with when it was him and Marlena, and he started to use mind games to play along with people. He started using the mind games. And that's when he was at his best. Eddie Guerrero, rest in peace. Viva La Raza. What was the best? Eddie Guerrero, and that had to be his lying, cheating, and stealing. That was probably when when they started doing the whole SmackDown 6 stuff. And there was that up until when he had turned heel on Mysterio and talking about I'm your puppy, you know. That was the lion cheating and stealing Eddie Guerrero, and that was when he would do things like he would hit the chair until like he'd get hit, so that the other person would then get to this person in the chair, and then until like he would so he can get a disqualification victory or just a lot of other things. Of course, when he won champion, him winning the WWE championship always gives me chills. Just the hair just stands up on my on little rock stuff. It's incredible. It's very fulfilling. Even after all these years, knowing that it's gonna happen, it still gives me chills to watch it. But yeah, that was the best Eddie Guerrero. I think if he the best character, it was his best himself. At that time, he had kicked his habit of drugs and alcohol or whatever the abuse he was with substance abuse, and he was back on track. He had his family back. He was he was just everything. So this was just so good. So Eddie Guerrero, just again rest in peace. His best iteration, I think, was of course the lying cheating still. What was the best version of Kane? Well, I think the best version of Kane was obviously the original one. That was when it was peak Kane, and it was it was peak Kane. It was best Kane too. And I think it was it really was that when you thought it was at his best, and you really thought Undertaker had a true you know deity next to him, his brother, and it was the greatest debut of all time. I don't think that's any question. One of the best, stories of all time. One of the best. Just everything to it is just so perfect, and I think there's not a doubt in the world that as Kane is now as time going on, Kane character has gotten crazy, and him and stuff that Dan Bryan was doing. That was crazy, and I guess you can almost say that where he came in as a monster, you know, and the scars of he thought to be scarred. And over time we shared the fact that it was the mental scars were more. There was no physical scars; they were all mental scars, and over time he became more and more human and things like that. So that's where we end up now with Kane being the you know the mayor of Knox County and everything like that in Tennessee. But I think really the original one, the original version of Kane, that's Kane was, and I think that's what Kane will always be into my eyes. Scott Hall. What was the best version of Scott Hall's character? It was Razor Ramon, without question. And Razor pretty much stayed true. Now, yes, he went from heel to face, but his character was pretty much the same. He was the machismo Chico, and he had it all. And so I don't think there's no degradation. It's just truly it's just Razor Ramon, and it was a great character. He obviously was biting off a Scarface, and he was so totally the best. The best version of himself. I think he was having some issues at that time during his run in there, and we all know his issues. Now he's took them all, and that's thankful. Um, he is not saying some kind of crazy things about other things that have been going on, but I do feel he is. You know, at his healthiest. But wrestling wise, there's no one better than Razor Ramon. That's Scott Hall's best character. What's Kevin Nash's best character? Well, I could have selected Big Sexy in TNA, or was he Big Sexy when he went to WCW? Yeah, I should think maybe he was Big Sexy was in WCW. Actually, I don't know. I can't remember. I'm getting too old, but it's decent. It's decent. I think that one was really really good, and I really enjoyed that one, and but that was his truly best characterization of what it was, and I thought it was electric. It's always a fun time to have Big Daddy Cool show back up, but it's usually in its NWO form. Now it's Kevin Nash in the NWO, but a couple of times he came back as Diesel in the Royal Rumble. That album was really good. So yeah. Now question: Kevin Nash's best character is his Diesel character, and finally, Edge. Who's the best version of Edge? Many people say it was his ultimate opportunist, Edge. Once he turned heel and became with Lita, and he started doing that storyline, of course, with Matt Hardy and everything like that. And so was that the best Edge? His ultimate opportunist version of himself. But I'm gonna say no. Me, Edge, best Edge was when he went down when he was drafted to SmackDown, and he was part of the SmackDown 6. That was his best. That was his best version of him. That's what I think. I think because he really came into his own. He became a better wrestler. He became a better storyteller. He had everything going right for him. That's when people saw the beginnings of what could be a future champion, and he did everything good, and until the unfortunately he hurt his neck. But he was fantastic, and in that game again, like I said, he put the SmackDown 6, and I was really fond, really happy that he was a good, had some really good stuff going on there on SmackDown. So to me, SmackDown 6 Edge, that's the best Edge. All right, y'all. Most comments down below. Tell me what you guys think. Do you guys agree who are my best characters of the versions that I just gave you or do you think there were some other versions that were better? Let me know down in the comment section. Like the videos, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you go to patreon.com/AJTrip, become a Patreon. 3 tiers. Once I get to a certain amount of Patreons, we're going to open up the floodgates so that you can be able to vote on what you want to see here on YouTube, what you want to see me play on Twitch, what you want to hear me talk about on my podcast. Thank you guys so much for watching. Oh, by the way, I should remind you that over the next 2 weeks, we're going to have NXT TakeOver in your house predictions, and we're going to have Backlash predictions. So you want to make sure you definitely hear from that. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is your boy, E.GUERRERO, Trip, signing off. As always, be good to each other, y'all. Be careful out there. And I am out.